How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to bring up a topic on whether South Africa are capable of winning the 2027 World Cup. This is going to be a tough ask to be able to win that third straight successive World Cup. No team has ever won it. Honestly, I think if South Africa are able to do it, then that will kind of squash the argument on who is the better rugby side, South Africa or New Zealand. New Zealand, they always have this thing on, oh, they play better rugby, they play more flair rugby, but no team has ever won it three times in a row. Obviously, New Zealand had that where they were the first team to ever win it twice, but can they sustain, will South Africa be able to pass that milestone that New Zealand set? Because obviously South Africa, they are holding strong. They had a very, very strong World Cup last year. I mean, they put in a lot of strong performances, but to be honest, they weren't running over teams. They weren't bulldozing teams. A lot of it was won the last couple of minutes. Handré Pollard putting in a lot of effort, a lot of work, and coming in that second half and really, really putting away a lot of points. So we look at, for instance, someone like Handré Pollard for the 2027 World Cup. He's going to be, I think he's going to be what, around 33, 34 years old. You have Yeben Etzebeth, he's going to be around 37 years old. You have Sia Khaleesi, he's going to be 37 years old. Cheslin Colby is going to be around 34, 35. Oxenche, he's going to be around 31, 32. Snyman, 31, 32. I think a vast majority of South African players are going to be around that age gap. And, that is very much an aging squad. I mean, even Pieter-Steph du Toit, he's going to be in that same bracket. So it's not going to be an easy task. How do you replace these players? Is South Africa capable of replacing these players? Because, like I say, these are players that are just on a completely another level. You look at the three of the four that's been nominated for Ball Player of the Year: Cheslin, Eben, and Pieter-Steph. World beaters, but they are getting on in their years. So will South Africa have the ability to replace monsters like this? And I guess only time will tell. But you're looking at the junior Springboks. Obviously, the junior Springboks, they haven't exactly had the best of times, you can say, because they have been struggling. They aren't as dominant as the Springboks are, but you have players in there that could really, really make a difference. I mean, you look at Sasha coming in, he's an absolute monster. His kicking game is incredible. And he's 21 years old. So South Africa do have a couple more players that they are coming up. And South Africa do have a lot to work with, right? It just comes down to what are they going to do and how they're going to implement them into this aging squad that South Africa has. Because you look at the under 20s, right? In terms of props, you got Casper Bradenhorst, you have Reno Hurst, Zachary Porten, Ruan Swart. I really like him. Hookers, you have players like Ethan Bester. I'm a Sharks fan. I do love Bester. Luca Buckers, Juan Small, another brilliant player. Adam de Waal, JF van Heerden is an absolute monster of a player. Thomas Dyer, again, beautiful, beautiful player. Loose forwards, you have Keanu Kutsia, Dabang Mfafi, Dion Jacobs, brilliant players. Scrum halves, Asad Moos, he's absolutely brilliant. Then players like Ezekiel Ngobeni, you got fly halves, Tyler Sefur. Centers, you have Lorenzo Julius, which I think he is like on the cusp of breaking through. I think he needs a bit more game time for the Sharks, but he really is in the cusp of breaking through. That can really, really make a difference. Then we have your outside backs, players like JC Mars, which brilliant. Letelile Bester, brilliant. Michael Damon, brilliant. So these are all stars. These are all brilliant, brilliant players that I think they could really, really make a difference to South Africa. But it depends on what they are capable of doing, right? How they are going to integrate them, because you still have players like Warren Augustus who plays for the Saints, who he's waiting, he's there. There's a couple of players playing in the Gallagher Premiership as well, on the older, in older in age, but they are still vying for a lot of for those positions. So South Africa really, really do have a lot of talent to work through, but how are they going to implement it? If there's anything I know about Rassi, he's a genius when it comes to this. Implementing players, their styles, working with them, getting the best out of them. I don't think there's a coach that does that any better than he does, right? Because you look at his time, you even look at his time in Munster. He knows how to get the best in people. And I think that's something he's going to be able to do. I really do. So does South Africa have what it takes to get to win the third World Cup in a row? Honestly, I think they do. But they gotta compete up against teams like Ireland, who they have an absolute phenom like Sam Prendergast, he's playing so well recently, and he's still got a lot to learn. But he's one of these players that are scary, very, very scary, because then you think just how good he's doing now. He's 21 years old. How good is he going to be in 2 years, playing at the highest level, right? And performing at the highest level. How well is he going to do when he gets to that World Cup, right? You have players like Wallace Atiti for New Zealand, and New Zealand have a lot of monsters coming through that are scary, right? And then you have your teams like Fiji, who are just absolute monsters. I call them a team of gentle giants because they are so friendly, but yet when they're on the field, they want to rip you from limb to limb, and they probably are able to do it. But these are the teams that you know, they will make it dirty. They will take you to the ground. They will make you fight every single second for it, and they will do it damn well. So does South Africa have what it takes? Honestly, I think they do. They have the depth in talent. Plus, we're just looking at the talent that's coming through now. What's going to happen in 2 years, right? What about these players that are going to be popping up here, there, and everywhere? Players that are going to be having ridiculous, um, seasons that might come through. You have players like Arense, you have your Hendricks brothers. These are all players that they can shine like there's no tomorrow. So honestly, someone's going to need to step up, especially as the old guard for the Springboks are getting older, right? They're not going to have the legs in them. They're not going to have that fire in them, unfortunately. But the new guard, the youngsters, right? They are going to be the ones having to step up. They got to get their head in the game. And you look at South African rugby, even in the URC, I think the Sharks are currently fifth. The um, the Bulls, I think they're currently fourth. So the South African teams aren't doing that badly in the URC. Now, will South Africa be able to nurture the players properly through these next 2 years? Hopefully, there's no major injuries to the Springboks that keep players out for extended periods of time, and God forbid that there is an injury to one of our key players that happens just before the World Cup, because that does happen. It really, really is horrible. I mean, you look at the 1995 World Cup, where Chester Williams, he only got in because of an injury. I forget who got injured, what his name was. But the only reason Chester played brilliant, right? Chester played his bloody socks off. But the only reason Chester was there is because of that injury. So it's a case on South Africa need to maintain their players. They need to look after them. They need to try and be as risk preventative as an injury preventative as possible over these next couple of years, because God forbid something bad happens next year. South Africa are going to they're going up against some big players, and they're going to be playing New Zealand, and that's going to be a very difficult test. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I think we're going to see some stars on show. And honestly, I think Sasha, he's really going to pull his socks up. He's going to make a name for himself, and he's going to show why he deserves, that limelight that he's getting. So if you've never seen a story about Sasha and how he grew up and his ability, watch, search for him. It's absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But all in all, look, um, South Africa have the depth, the age of the players. They still relatively good. The average age I think is going to be around 34, which to be honest is not that old for rugby players. Um, it's not like in football where once you come to the age of 34, you're pretty much in a coffin. But it's doable. It really is doable. So we're going to see what happens. And yeah, hopefully we see South Africa get that third win and create some more history. Right. So let me know what you guys think. I want to hear your comments in the comment section below. If you guys do think South Africa's going to win, if you don't, I want to know who you think is going to take that title away from South Africa and why. So let me know in the comment section below. If you guys do want to see more content, please like and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. And I just want to keep providing you guys with the best content possible. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.